Will you help me?
Shrek 2, the video game, is a 2004 action-adventure game based on the DreamWorks animation film of the same name. Basically, this game was released on PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube, and then after a while was ported over to PC. The game follows Shrek and crew as you go through and complete various mini-games, as well as use the different characters in order to complete different puzzles. You start off in Shrek's swamp and you have yourself, Fiona, Donkey, and Gingerbread Man that you can choose from to play. The way it works is you use the triggers in order to switch between the different characters that are on the screen. Pretty much all of the characters remain on the screen and follow the main character that you chose to play as. However, each different character has different abilities. For example, Shrek can pick things up and throw them, Gingerbread Man can jump a little bit higher as well as throw his candy cane, Donkey can kick stuff, and Fiona has a terrible singing ability. You go around various levels and you destroy slugs and kill turtles that are trying to kill you, and then again you switch between the characters to solve different puzzles or different mechanisms of gameplay. Another quick example would be Shrek picking things up can be used on one certain minigame at the start to throw chickens into a pot of stew in order to make the stew for for Red Riding Hood's grandma. Another example of a minigame here is once you get to Red Riding Hood's grandma, you have to use Fiona in order to do like a tap revolution type thing where you sit there and you press the buttons in correspondence with the buttons as they drop down into these circles. As you do that, you have to make all of the different birds pop by using Fiona to sing at a super high pitch. And that's really all there is to this game. You do go throughout and you will change the different characters that you have access to, and there's different levels, but it essentially plays somewhat as a platformer, somewhat as a combat game, and then it has its like unique different aspects to each character that you use to solve puzzles. It's nothing crazy unique and it's nothing crazy new. Overall, even for the time, I feel like maybe it kind of was an okay game, but it was kind of boring pretty quickly. Also, it can get pretty frustrating when one character gets stuck on some like area that they clearly shouldn't get stuck on, but the AI is super rudimentary because it's before AI got really good. So I can understand how that can happen, but just generally there isn't enough variation in the game to make it quite as fun as I remember it or wanted it to be. Also, it does just seem like every single time there was some big IP, they were like, hey guys, we're gonna make a game because we know it'll make some cash, and I mean, listen, I respect the hustle. Anyway, that's all my opinion is on this game. Let me go ahead and toss you over to Jason for his opinion.
I still remember going on the Shrek 4D ride at Universal Studios. And as you ride the carriage, enjoying the haptic feedback of the chair, I can only think to myself, what if Chris Farley didn't die and was actually the voice of Shrek?
Oh man, that's cold! I'm a maniac on the floor, and I'm dancing like I've never danced before.
Shrek 2, the video game, brought back that question, although with none of the original voice acting and the Gauntlet Legend style of gameplay, I still found enjoyment in the game. You play initially as Shrek, Fiona, Donkey, and Gingy, but as we progress, Gingy switched out for Little Red Riding Hood. Each character has its own unique abilities, and with the top-down style view, the game controls very well, but the AI is atrocious. As we progressed throughout the game, there were plenty of times where the AI-controlled characters just wouldn't follow or would run backwards and sometimes not even engage in the combat. The game looks and feels like a Shrek adventure, but the amassing frustration of the AI acting like it's never played a video game before in its life did take away from my enjoyment a bit. We've been playing a lot of licensed games lately, and honestly, Shrek 2, the game, just isn't at the top. At best, it's mid. There are a few creative moments like having Fiona sing and explode the birds, and taking on the merry men of Robin Hood. It's the character switch-ups, unique style, and variety that keep the game entertaining, but again, the AI-controlled characters are the biggest reason why it's difficult for me to rate this game highly. I imagine if you have 4 players locally to play Shrek 2, that the game would absolutely be more enjoyable. But since we only had a single player experience to go off of, I'm giving Shrek 2 a 2.75 out of 5. But would probably bump it up to a 3.75 if I did have 3 other players to play with me locally. After my first impression, I can't recommend playing Shrek 2 the game, but if you are lighting it up and have 3 other friends to play with Shrek 2, it might be a good time. Now I will pass it back to Rocky to close us out.
Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this retro first impression. If you did, definitely let us know in the comments below if you agree with us or disagree with us on any of our opinions here. And also if there's any old school games on any console that you can remember that you want us to talk about or play or try, definitely let us know in the comments down below as well. Besides that, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram, that'll pop up during the outro. And we have another channel called Smokin Sessions, where we do similar content to what we do here, except we talk about movies and music. So if you want to be kept in the loop of all things cinema as well as all things video games, like and subscribe here for more content like this in the future, and then go ahead and like and subscribe over on Smokin Sessions. Alright guys, thank you for joining me during this gaming session.
I stay out of my head to the depths of the universe. It's a spell or a chance just to open up a newer curse.
Shrek's starving for some great pie, and an old shut-in wants to make it for him. But who will be able to bring home the blackbird?